why did Tiger think it would be possible to do this, put out some dates to say, I'm thinking of returning here, and then when it's right at the outset, pull the plug on it, Notah?
Well, I think like any athlete, as you start to feel better, and anybody that's gone through surgery and tried to come back, most athletes come back too early. Not very many athletes ever get accused of coming back too late. It's just you start to get through that initial pain period and rehabilitation, gain back all of your strength, and you start to think that, okay, on the horizon, where can I make my first start? Where can I start to get some reps and start to do the things that I've been training my entire life to do? And I think that was the sentiment about 4 or 5 weeks ago. And I was down in Jupiter with Tiger roughly about 6 weeks ago, just trying to get a general feel for where his game was at, where his mind was at, where his body was at. And everything was sort of progressing in the right direction. And my only concern at that point was he hadn't yet progressed into hitting a lot of drivers. It was just a handful every day just to kind of make sure that things weren't going to break down physically. And I think that was the sort of pressing point here, in that not being able to practice during the entire week of the Ryder Cup, and then things kind of getting pushed back with the hurricane. He lives right on the coast of Florida there, and just tried to cram too much in too late, and just didn't feel like he had the requisite skill set to step on the first tee.
And so he said in his statement, he used the word vulnerable. How do you interpret how vulnerable his game is? What did he mean by that word, Notah?
Well, I mean, my good friend has gone through a lot, publicly, physically, personally, and I think that he just turned 40, and just coming to a sense of maturity and where he's at. He realizes that he's much closer to the end of his career than the beginning. He realizes that he is fallible. He realizes that he probably will not possess the game that we all sort of wish he would come back with, what he did in 2001 in that era. And so I think that there's an interest in just trying to make sure that he feels comfortable with the ball striking. And I think that's where it's at. And the vulnerable standpoint might be, from an injury standpoint, it could be physical, but he's very strong. There is no signs that that's the issue. It's not a technical issue. I've been in constant communication and talked to Tiger, talked to his instructor, Chris Como, on a weekly basis. And so there's no technical issues. There's no chipping issues like we thought. I've seen some tweets and a lot of social media saying it's a chipping issue. It's not. It's just the fact that a player has to feel comfortable stepping on the mound, stepping in the ring, the octagon, and on the first tee with what they're able to do to protect themselves against failure. And that's athletes' biggest fear. It's failure. And Tiger, when Tiger fails, it's monumental. It's viral. It goes worldwide. And it's just something that I think that he's a little just trying to make sure he's in a good place mentally and with his game.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.